Hey you, it's me, Virgie. And yes, I'm going by Virgie now because I get to choose what name I go by, and it's an ever-going evolution of identity and expression in this life for me. What about you? Also, how cool is this? It's called an ohm cone that I got from a dear friend. I'll link down to them below. Ohm cones on Instagram. It's made out of a pine cone. And I got this at a magical fair that my friend Sarah from Intuitive Empowerment, who does hypnosis and tarot readings and all kinds of things, who I will also link to down below. She did a sort of like a clothing swap, except for it was all with magical items, which was so cool. My mom just got me this bandana when I was visiting Wyoming recently from the Lakota Nation. This shirt is from South Africa back in the day. This hat is my mom's old Stetson. And this is a great horned owl feather from my friend Suzi, whose YouTube channel I will link to down below as well. I've had a couple dear friends recently tell me that my videos meant a lot to them, or that watched some of my videos recently and were like, hey, I loved that. And so I thought, you know, a little bit of mud, weird. So I thought, you know, I'm going to record a video. I'm going to get back to this. I think this is one of my offerings in the world, and let's go. So here I am. And I was inspired today. So I draw cards every day, and one thing that I love doing, here, Raza May just came outside if you want to see her and say hi. Do you want to say hi, Sissy? You want to say hi? Good girl. That's my good. So Raza May is with us. We went on a nice trail run this morning. My good friend Emily. Oh, good girl. So one thing that I like to do is draw tarot cards every day. And I really, or oracle cards, divination cards, and I really enjoy drawing from different decks. I'm getting some burrs out of Rosalind's ear right now. And I was inspired today to also draw to ask what's a good activation for this video that I'm going to be filming. So you might be inspired to do this kind of divination for your own creative work, or even just, you know, a hard conversation you're about to have, or something like that. Like what's a good activation for this? Sounds like Peter is joining us. Hi, bud. Hi. So here are the two cards I drew. So my dear friend Carolyn gifted me a deck called the Lightseers Tarot, and I drew my question was, what should be my activation, or might be my activation for this video that I'm filming. So I drew the 9 of Swords, hard card. Take a look at that. And then I like to add context by drawing from different decks. And so this is from a collage deck that I bought from my friend Tabatha, who I met through YouTube, and who I will link to down below. I'll link to her YouTube channel as well as this deck. This deck is incredible. This collage deck, look at the back of it. I think I've shared about it on here before. And then this is the card I drew. Very brave is very brave. So you can get some texture, some context. You can kind of get a story just from looking at these without even understanding anything about tarot. So that kind of told me what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, or share about, talk to myself about. And for anyone who's listening, I really do feel like my recordings, whether they're writings or voice memos or videos, is for me to process. And then I put it out there. And if anyone else finds themselves in it, that's wonderful. So 9 of Swords, sometimes called Cruelty in other decks. Swords are, the Thoth Tarot specifically calls it Cruelty. So swords are mental energy, right? Air. Okay, so we have the four elements and the 4 suits in tarot. Wands are fire, which is will. Cups are water, which is emotions. Swords are air, which is mental. And then pentacles or discs are earth, which is very physical. Like Peter just shook his little physical body out to give us an idea of that. So the 9 of Swords is a really hard card. It's very, negative, too heavy, too much, over the top mental energy. And something that I have continued to struggle with and really, really work through and really be with and really notice is something that's inside of me, whether from my own life experiences and traumas, as well as ancestral traumas and genetic tendency, is this negative self-talk. And honestly, ever since I have stopped habitually smoking weed in order to escape, it's still something, cannabis is still something I commune with sometimes intentionally or socially, that's really beautiful, and it's not a habit and something that I do in order to get away. And also stopped drinking caffeine for certain periods of time. I had a cup of coffee this morning, again, just trying not to have things be habitual and addictive in order to escape things. And also, you know, kind of trying to integrate what I learned on the wild way home from my time living alone in the van back into society and back into culture, and find how the authentic me, the really authentic me, fits in society. I've struggled with a lot of negative self-talk and self-talk loops, and I feel like that is very Nine of Swords. And what do I mean by negative self-talk? I mean, like, things that tell me I'm a loser, I'm a failure, I'm a nobody cares about what I do, why would I film videos or write things or really do anything in the world, because I'm just a fucking loser, basically, is what this negative self-talk tells me. And so I think that this card, very brave, is this idea of doing it anyway. And also, I have started going to therapy recently for the first time in my life, professional therapy with a therapist. And I do want to share, for those of you who are on this psychological, spiritual, emotional, relational, physical, embodied, ethereal, divine journey of growth, that it has been really powerful for me to go to a therapist. And partially because of something she said right at the very beginning, which was because I've always had a lot of friends who are therapists, and my cousin who I live with is a therapist, and I've read all the books, and I've, you know, done all of those things. And a point that my therapist made right away was, it's a one-way relationship, because I'm paying this person to be able to listen to and be there for me and be objective and have no stake in my life. And most importantly for me, someone who really struggles with codependence, which is also what a lot of this negative self-talk is about, because if I'm not getting obvious instant validation in tangible, achievey, you're the best in a measurable way kind of ways, which my family has been very big on for many generations, and which I was totally inculcated in when I was growing up, then I think I'm a fucking failure, right? So this codependence and needing my validation from other people and needing to feel like I have to take care of other people runs really deep. And in a professional therapeutic container, I don't have to take care of my therapist. And, you know, there's obviously a balance between having reciprocal, healthy relationships where you're taking care of each other, you're asking each other questions, and that's healthy. It's still this idea of I have to be conscious of it needs to be equal between us. I'm making sure I'm not dominating the conversation. Oftentimes, maybe I'm even listening more than I'm talking, holding more space than is being held for me. And so it's just been really healing for me and really validating to be able to go to therapy and have it just be about having space held for me and not have to worry about caretaking. So I want to say that for those of you who maybe have read all the books, have friends that are therapists, or listening to the videos and haven't actually been in a therapeutic container, you know, I think if you have the money or a way to do it, or your insurance covers it, or there's someone who can help you have those funds, it's been pretty life-changing for me. And it's taken me until 33 to do this. I've only had 2 sessions so far. And again, with the negative self-talk, like just having someone totally objective from my life, telling this person a bit about how I grew up and having it be so clear to her how focused my family of origin was on achievement and status and prestige and mainstream success and accomplishment, that as I tap into my authentic values, which is a life that really looks a lot differently than that and honestly questions all of those systems and ways of being, it's not surprising that all of this negative self-talk is coming up. And just that alone is so validating to me, to know that this 9 of Swords kind of energy that I'm going through and processing and healing and just being with, and finding tools like affirmations, like embodied movement, like singing, like humming, like chanting, like meditation to help me move through it, that this negative self-talk that I've been suffering from, this 9 of Swords, does not mean that something's wrong with me. It's actually, if you look at the bigger picture from someone who, you know, isn't too close to be able to see, it's like, of course you're having this. That sounds exactly right for the kind of, you know, life experience that you had as a child. So I just wanted to share that. And honestly, for all that I'm clearly okay with talking about my life and processing, going to therapy has been a very brave thing for me and a very scary thing. And also, another practice I wanted to bring up that may or may not speak to you is this idea of doing certain things every day. So I've been taking and having the courage to do that even when we don't want to. So I've been taking an online class with a kundalini teacher named Simrit, who I will link to down below, and her husband is Jai Dev, who has the Life Force Academy, and they teach a lot of really cool kundalini stuff. I've become very involved in the local kundalini yoga community here in Chattanooga. I will link to my friend Michelle, who is a coach and a teacher. Come visit us, come practice at Yoga Landing with us, and she also does outdoor adventures here in Chattanooga that I would highly recommend, called Outshine Adventures, that she has with her partner Sunshine. They do like paddleboard yoga and teach people how to paddleboard and do yoga outside and do hikes together. I went on a bat cave paddleboarding adventure with them here that was absolutely incredible with a bunch of our friends from Kundalini. Anyway, so Jai Dev and Simrit have an amazing virtual Kundalini community, and I have been taking a class with Simrit called Clear and Confident, and it's a women's class. And something that she said in that class is it's more potent to do something every day, even for 30 seconds, literally, or a minute, than to do it once a week for an hour. So for me, I have started doing certain practices every day. And instead of feeling like, you know, I have to do an hour of yoga every day, there's like several kriyas that I can do each one for anywhere from like 2 minutes to 11 minutes. So also that's flexible. Like some days I do more, some days I do less. It's just that I do it every day. And one of them is a kriya that's called Clearing the Arc Line. That's really powerful, especially for women. So this is an example of something I've been doing every day. I think I have missed like 2 days, and I've been doing this every day for almost 40 days now. So it's like you're holding little cups of water, and then you're gonna flick them over your shoulder. So it's inhaling and flicking the wrist as you go back. And you can look it up. It's the kriya for clearing the arc line. And that's one of them. Another one has been the kriya for addiction, where I hold here. I'm holding in my temples where I can feel my jaw clench, because I'm clenching my jaw inwardly to the mantra of sa, ta, na, ma. And holding here for 7 minutes. I do that every day. And then there are other rotating kriyas I've been doing every day. And I think it's made a huge difference in my life. Actually, for one of the first times, it's felt like, you know, I've smoked weed a time or two here with friends, or eaten some edibles, drank some alcohol or caffeine, and it also feels like I've been able to do those things in an integrated way that isn't addictive and compulsive and dissociative and numbing. So trying to not be all or nothing for me is a big journey, and just doing things every day, just even if it's a little bit, feels like part of that journey. Another thing I've been doing every day is doing at least 10 push-ups and doing at least 33 squats, 1 squat for each year of my life. And I can do more push-ups if I want. It's just, or squats, it's just that minimum. I mean, those things, it takes a minute to do those squats. It takes 20 seconds to do those push-ups. And just doing it every day, and then also running every day. So whether I run for 30 seconds barefoot on somebody's lawn or go for an hour-long trail run, it's just this idea of doing it every day. And that's just been really powerful for me. And I feel like it has helped me be brave in the face of this, because I'm not going to run away, especially as I'm now full on working on editing The Wild Way Home. And I'll link to my social media down below, and I'll be publishing blogs again. So hope to see you there. I'll link to my blog and my Instagram, which is on the Vergy now. If you want to follow along, I think I will be sharing as I go. I also post a lot of just like inspirational, personal, and community stuff on my Instagram, if you want to follow me there. Yeah, so I wanted to share with you that idea of doing something every day. And really it finally clicked with me, because for writing practice, that's what really led me to actually be able to be a writer, honestly. Natalie Goldberg, I'll link to her down below, Writing Down the Bones, talking about writing as a practice, and like set your timer on your phone for 5 minutes and spend that 5 minutes writing. You're a writer because you're doing it. And it's more powerful to spend 5 or 10 minutes every day writing than to write once a month for 2 hours. It's habit, it's the power of momentum, and it's the everyday thing that counts. So I don't know, maybe from this video you decide one thing that you're gonna do every day, and it can literally be something that takes 10 seconds. Maybe it's that once a day you take 5 deep breaths. That's probably more than you've been taking every other day. Maybe it's that once a day you sit down and close your eyes for 5 minutes, or lay down and close your eyes for 5 minutes. Maybe it's that once a day you go on a walk, whether that's around the block or around 20 city blocks. It's been pretty life-changing for me. So everyone has what's right and wrong for them. I just wanted to share it in case it was a resource that might be meaningful in your life, like it has been in mine, because I think I'm here to share what's going on with me, and this bravery of sharing, no matter how many people watch this or how many people it touches, is part of me alchemizing through that 9 of Swords negative self-talk energy to the courageous, brave heart that I am, that is really here to share things. I'm not in control of the outcome. Like the Tao says, I have a right to my actions, but not to the fruit of my actions. So let's end with a few deep breaths together if you're still here with me. Maybe 3. Let out a sound if that feels good. Through the nose if you can. Well, let's inhale through the nose and out the mouth for these next 2, actually. Releasing. Last one. All right, thanks for being here. There's lots of resources in the about if you're interested. And Rosalind and I would like to wish you a blessed rest of your day. Just look at this face and tell me that everything's not gonna be all right. She's living her best life right now. This is her happy face because she's good. All right, I'll talk to you later.